Hey, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Ecosystem Office Hours call. I am your host, Jinx, and we are joined, as always, by the best and brightest in the Pocket ecosystem. A lot of stuff to cover today, and I'm going to be heading out to East Denver tomorrow to represent Pocket among all of the DGens there. So, looking forward to that. And if you are, according to crypto Twitter, DGen is cringe now. Well, fuck those guys. I'm DGen for life. If you are in Denver for ETH Denver and you want to meet up, please feel free to reach out. You can hit me on Telegram or Discord. Love to find some time in the mix to chat about Pocket and what we're doing. So feel free to hit me up on that front. Updates. We have a ton of updates this week, starting with in our continued push for financial and operational transparency within the foundation. We've got a couple of things going that are new additions. One, I've tasked Kansu with doing a full audit of the foundation financials all the way back through to the beginning of 2024 so that we can actually account from a line item by line item perspective of what's been spent on where through that entire time. And once that's fully completed, which hopefully won't take too long, we are going to have a year-over-year comparison so that we can show what the foundation's spending in relation to what it's spent in the past, and also to show places where we've, to be perfectly honest, cut the hell out of the budget. We've gone pretty aggressive on, making sure that everything that we're spending is actually appropriate and relevant and directly tied to the mission that we have. But Kansu is just now back after what y'all may have heard or may not have heard was a national electricity crisis in Chile yesterday, which, my God, I could not imagine having the whole ass country with no power. That sucks. So glad to see you're back. And we need to put together like an embassy extraction team or something in case anything else happens like that in the future. Yeah, Fred, +1 for dope. I'm a fan. Second, we met with our market maker this morning, and they are going to join the forum next week and start posting their regular weekly updates of their transactions across the marketplaces. That way, it's clear to the DAO what the market makers are doing and how they're participating and engaging in the marketplace at large. So, in driving forward as much visibility into the operations of the foundation as possible, we are tasking some of our partners to be a part of that mix. And I think that was the top of the list for me, but I may circle back around. Let me hand it over to Gabby for now with some foundation operations updates.
Hello. Okay, so first up is the PGA program. So far we've been making good progress with all of the teams and setting their milestones. I think a couple team members are here on the call, so guys, make sure you say hi later. I also want to shout out to all the heavy contributors to Beta Testnet. We've been keeping track of everyone who's contributing documentation, technical-wise, providing feedback. We really appreciate you, and you will be remembered. Next up is incentives. So please don't forget Aerodrome and Orca incentives are still live, and we are contributing to them on a weekly basis. So make sure you get your tokens in there into the pools. Jinx covered being at ETH Denver. Last thing, marketing. Please keep engaging with our posts and our content. We've seen a great improvement in our X analytics over the last 3 months, particularly in the areas of engagement and impressions. We want to keep the up-only trend, so keep reposting, liking, commenting, all that good stuff. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gabby. And for anyone who doesn't know, Kansu is the one who is the comptroller over all of the organization's financials and maintains the public pro forma that we keep updated on a regular basis. So if you have specific questions about foundation financials, you are welcome to either bring them up here in the call or tag her in Discord as needed to get specific questions answered. Before we shift into... Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Kansu.
On that end, please, guys, feel really free to just chat about any question that you might have. I will happy jump in a call or whatever you guys need to get clarification on that end. And in regards to the Chilean Spooky No Electricity event, I do have intermittent internet today. So if I jump on and off this call, you know why. So if anything is specifically about the Reforma, feel free to like tag me or text me or whatever, so I can help out. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. And we are so glad you're back online. Before we shift into the next segment, does anybody have questions about those updates?
Oh, one more thing. Michael's podcast episode is now live. I will post the link here. Please give it a listen.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll take that as no questions there. Of course, you're always welcome to circle back after we get through all the updates. I'll hand it over to Fred. Are you the guy today for the Grove side?
I'm back. That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start with Shannon. Really, for when we're thinking about Shannon, the big things that we're focused on are load testing, preparing for mainnet, and the migration. So it's lots of little things. We've been telling each other internally we're really in the last 20% of everything here, and that includes path. So we're just really excited, and we're just kind of buckling in and just staying the course and doing all the little things that get us ready for mainnet. As we get closer, we will announce a definitive date, but nothing there yet. Still Q2. Beyond the usuals, again, we're kind of in the preliminary discussions for a humongous load testing effort on Shannon and Path. At the request of CryptoCorn, trying to target about a 10 billion relay day. We're working with the foundation on that right now to figure out how to coordinate it, how to make it happen, and how to make sure that all the infrastructure that's required to do that gets compensated for. So more to come there if we can find it, but yeah, we're working on it. Lastly, on Shannon, a PR just went in this last week that enables WebSockets on Shannon, so we're really excited about that. Mega feature to be added to the protocol level, and it's going through some testing. I'll kind of use that to roll right into Path and come back to it. So on the Path side, WebSockets is also now enabled on Path. This is very exciting. Now, if you want to run a WebSockets-based gateway off-chain, you can do it. And the idea here being that you can do it on-chain when Shannon launches. Is it production ready? Maybe not. We are in the process of doing our end-to-end testing on that feature, both at the protocol level and at the path level. So more to come there, but if you want to check it out, check out both repos. You can see it. It's there. It's live. It's code. On Path, we just wrapped up our EVM QoS deployments. So we're feeling very confident about the success rate on EVM chains. More to come as we expand to the other suspects out there, the Nears, the Celestias, the Solanas of the world that don't use the standard EVM JSON RPC interface. So more to come there, but this is a big milestone. I think this is like 45 of the 58 chains, maybe more, 50 of the 58 chains even, that are currently supported on Pocket. So this is a great way to get off the ground running very quickly. More on Path, the main focuses beyond getting QoS and testing WebSockets are the CLI, so incorporating a Path CLI, and also just deploying all of the IAC that Grove will be using as open source code, so you could follow a very similar setup. We are moving off the cloud for this effort on our end, or at least for the primary path portions, because we understand that most operators don't want to be on the cloud, or at least if you're already on a bare metal-esque setup, it's easier to move it onto the cloud than it is to take something that's cloud native and move it off. So stay tuned to our infrastructure repo on Path in the Build with Grove organization on GitHub, and you can keep an eye on that and maybe take some of that and use it yourself if you like Kubernetes. And just rolling right into the portal updates to close out. We finally chased down a very obscure networking issue that happened when we introduced multi-cluster gateway. We migrated off of the deprecated multi-cluster ingress for Kubernetes. It's fixed, and now you should see much more stable traffic across our 3 geographic regions, which are EU, US, and APAC, and much less spiky behavior. This also reduced our latency by 66%, which was absurdly high for a couple months while we were kind of sorting through that. So we're very happy with the stability of the portal. And I would say at this point that we're getting ready to put the portal as we know it today out to pasture onto its life support mode while we get ready to transition over to Path. That is pretty much it for everything that I've got. Just so that the community knows, the XRPL EVM testnet, so they are currently on DevNet, and that is supported in Pocket. Testnet is going live hopefully this week, so expect that to be listed in the Grove portal and on the network shortly. And if you're a node runner and you want to get prepared for that, check out their Discord and their docs. That is all I got.
What a badass series of updates. Awesome. So glad to hear everything. And does anyone really like Kubernetes? Don't at me on Twitter, people. I know there's some Kate's fans, but, whatever. Before we go into the rest of the Shannon migration updates, Art, do you have any additional Grove updates you want to share?
Yep. Hey, everyone. So we've been chatting internally about setting up some public RPCs. We're talking to Jinx and the foundation about going back to a place where we can offer public RPCs. But the one that we're more interested in offering are public RPCs vendored through Path over Shannon testnet for model LLM models. So even before we get to mainnet, and even before we have the Genesis event for Shannon, the idea is to kind of show the power of Shannon by being able to show that we can process inference inquiries through Path and potentially a couple other items. Not 100% sure which ones yet, but this is squarely on me and myself and Fred to pull off. Why? We don't want to bother the rest of the engineering team as they're getting over the finish line, as Fred just said. But we are also, in the background, Fred and I are continuously standing up and tearing down instances of Path, the relay miner, and the servicer to see if we can perform end-to-end requests on our own. And then with that, we're giving feedback on the documentation. And we're going to be doing this endlessly. And we're going to try to get to a point in the next few weeks to see if him and I can both just set up this end-to-end experience and then vendor some limited inference access over whatever version of Path is currently available over the testnet, just so we can prove out to everyone here that yes, like all the work we've put into Path and Shannon at Grove has borne fruit even before we've reached mainnet. So yeah, that's kind of our internal goal.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. And I was specifically interested in questions around public endpoints for the new chains that have come on that aren't necessarily well supported yet. I know that was one of the things that was a potential question, like XRPL, DevNet, and TestNet, and all the rest of that. So we'll
sure.
keep chatting
I can actually answer that one. So the deal we have with XRPL, I'm not going to go into all the nuances, but they have just agreed to pay the final portion of their contract in the next 30 days, which opens up a XR or like a Ripple funded public endpoint of about 5 million requests per day on whatever network is currently live. So as the testnet is going live, we plan on offering a public RPC endpoint that is already pre-funded by Ripple up to 5 million requests per day that we will share on Grove's website and that Ripple will share on the XRPL EVM docs page or whatever page it is that they want to share. So there will be more traffic that is already prepaid coming through the network. So that is one form of public RPC that is 100% coming for a fact. The other ones that we're talking about are, for all the other 50-ish chains or 60-ish chains that we currently support. And again, that's a conversation Jinx and I are having in the background about what that looks like. The other thing should say is Fred and I pulled some data today, at least internally from our gateway, and we're seeing good, healthy adoption by multiple other larger parties of Say, Verichain, and God, I forgot what the other one was. I wrote it down, but of at least 3 of the networks that we've launched, which is great because this shows that launching new networks does bring in new customers, and it does validate that launching the long tail of networks is healthy. It is kind of where we are going here. I would say with some other internal conversations I had with some of our customers this week, that they are doubling down on sending traffic to the longer tail of networks in places where they don't care as much about latency. They only care more about cost. So that is something that we are continuously validating the thesis that Pocket is very good today in today's world where cloud costs are where they are and bare metal costs are where they are. That having a wide selection of chains is what keeps customers using us. I would say on that, while I'm talking, since you've given me the page, I will say one more update and then I'm done. I spoke with Olshansky, who's been on the ground in Denver for the last 3 days yesterday, and he went to the DIN event. That's the Infura Decentralized Network event. And he got some interesting insight from them. The piece that I'll share is that Infura at this point does less than 1 billion requests per day across all the chains that they support. And that, and I know internally from some of our larger RPC customers who you may or may not know, they each do anywhere between 80 and 150 million requests a day. So the fact that Pocket is able to kind of compete there across the board means we are in the same range as all of these other larger providers right now. But a lot of RPC only businesses are struggling. So it's good that Pocket is starting to expand beyond blockchain RPC, which has been the goal for us for at least 2 years, but now we're really, really getting there. So everything that we're doing here at Grove right now is for the benefit of Pocket and growing Pocket and kind of getting out of the doldrums that we've all been in. And we're getting a lot of feedback externally from existing customers that this is the right path to take. I will stop there.
Excellent. Any questions on that? Okay. Sounds like we're good then. I'm going to do a quick interlude here. Zatar, do you want to talk about the current oversight voting?
Thanks, Jinx. Not much to say at this point. Voting ends tonight just before midnight. That's Eastern time. So if you haven't voted yet, please take a look at the proposal and the identities of the nominees for the DAO Oversight Committee. And that's the committee to review the spending in the DAO Treasury on Shannon completion rewards and also the price target achievement rewards. I'll put a link in the chat to the nomination information, and we'll talk next week about what happened. Thanks, Jinx.
You got it. Yeah, make sure you get your votes in there. I think there's some strong nominations, a lot of well-recognized ecosystem and community names. So get it in there. The Oversight Committee is going to be an important part of the process, and we want to make sure that we got some folks who are willing and able to do the job. So shifting back to the topic of Shannon migration from the ecosystem side, some of you may have noticed that there is now a working group channel under the Shannon category in the Discord. That is primarily for the folks who are ecosystem leads on the migration, which are Lowell and Steven and Kajab right now. We also have the ability for all of the Node Runner teams. I think I've got all the Node Runner teams added to that channel. But if for some reason you are one of the builders in the ecosystem and you don't have access to be able to chat in that channel, please let me know so I can get your Discord role added in there as well. I've also published the Shannon ecosystem migration checklist. This is still in draft form, to be clear. We are going to have everyone beating up on it to make sure that we haven't missed any of the critical steps along the way. But this is going to be our ecosystem checklist for making sure that we are prepped both from a testnet perspective and from the actual mainnet launch perspective. And I want to make something clear on the timeline of the actual migration. There's going to be 2 steps to that. Grove is going to give us their protocol ready date, which is when they have reached a state of mainnet readiness on their side. And then we'll have the actual ecosystem cutover date, which will follow that mainnet readiness date. And the reason that we're setting it up that way is because it will take a lot of coordination in the ecosystem between apps, gateways, node runners, etc., and all the individuals as well, to make sure that we're all well timed and working together to kick that off. We have some external moving parts outside of the protocol engineering itself that have to be completed as part of that process. Raid Guild is going to be working with us on getting the bridges updated, things along that line. And we have to coordinate with the exchanges as well so that they have their, suspend of deposit and withdrawal phase while we're going through the major update. So a lot of moving parts involved, and on the ecosystem side, it's going to be on us to coordinate all of those pieces and work closely with Grove to make sure that we're all in lockstep for that. We want the upgrade to be just as flawless and smooth as possible. We've seen plenty of examples in the past of blockchain upgrades that have gone really well, the ETH merge, for instance, and then we've seen some that have not gone so well. I'm not going to shout out any names there, but we want to make sure that we're on the list of blockchain upgrades that went really well. So we're going to be coordinating heavily on that. If you feel like you should be in the working group channel on Discord and you don't have access to it, again, just please let me know and I'll make sure that your team is added in there. And you are welcome to review the migration checklist. It is only write enabled for folks who are directly part of the core foundation ecosystem migration team. But I certainly welcome any and all DMs or suggestions in channel for additional steps that should be considered part of that list. And we will be beating the hell out of that list over the next week or so, just making sure that there's nothing that's missed. Okay, I think we have gone through all of the major items on the checklist, and hell, it's only 12:30, so we got 30 minutes still. Questions, comments, compliments. Tell the host how good he looks.
Genix. Hello, hi everyone. So I just have an update. I know we've been late. We've been because my team part of it in Palestine, so we have like a delay for 10 days. But today we are releasing the open source project, which basically was to it's called AnyHook, to do like transformation from endpoint technology to other endpoint technology. We use it originally to get subscriptions from WebSockets to webhooks, and we use it the other way to do webhooks to WebSockets or to pull data from RPC node to WebSockets. But I know Fred just did the code, so we just released today it's our first time to release open source project. So we released 12 integration connectors plus AnyHook. What the benefits of AnyHook is that you can use any RPC node within make.com, Zapier, Swanblocks, or any other automation platform, because they don't support they only support webhooks. So we just released it today, and I have some news from Qatar Web Summit. We have a booth in Web Summit, and Ala, our CEO, is there. So we got interest from the major data center and cloud provider in Qatar. They called Mada. They showed interest to run nodes or become a gateway for POKT. And in the Middle East, we don't have a lot of interest like Europe and other continents in the world for blockchain. But the Ministry of Security, they are working on a blockchain project. and we saw Qatar Gas and Qatar Airway. They are also working in NFT and other related blockchain projects. So they got to know Pocket for the first time today. And Ala, when Ala come back, he will tell us more. But I think you guys need more marketing because many people they don't know about Pocket. I've been into Pocket for 4 years now, or 5 years, but I know many people don't know anything about Pocket. So I think we need more marketing for Pocket. I mean, around the world. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. And believe me, we are deeply aware of that. And
Yeah.
we are very much working on that actively right now.
Yeah, I because listen, Pocket is like the best for me. It solves like a major problem in our platform. We are providing free RPC requests for anyone, and there is a huge difference in the pricing. I mean, we can save a lot using Pocket, and it's not confusing. I mean, the cost is predictable. Well, if you go to any other cloud nodes providers, they provide the CU, the compute unit, and it's unpredictable. You know that. But with Pocket, everything is clear. So, yeah, we need more a lot of marketing. I mean,
Well, it's great to hear your perspective of working with Pocket as a builder, and I would love to quote you on that in additional marketing as we go forward.
amazing, amazing, amazing. And yeah, there is a company called Collusionless. They are our customer. They are building, and we are building an AI agent for them for people to report scams, and it will do automatic forensic on chain, and it will connect with law enforcement around the world. That's in phases. So they showed interest to become an AI agent at our PGAT gateway for agents, for anyone to report scam in an easy way. So I think it will help the ecosystem as well in this part.
Beautiful. We'll certainly keep that in mind. Do you want to drop a link in chat?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. Other comments, questions? I see Miss Kitty typing. Oh yeah, agreed. Awesome update. And it really is great to hear from the actual, builders on the network, people who rely on the network for the services that they're providing. I think those are the kinds of stories that we want to get out there more as we push our marketing forward. We spend a lot of time talking about, the ecosystem from an internal perspective, but I think PGA is a great example of the shift in focus as we move forward into the people who are actually the users of the network and why they're users, what benefits it is to them. That's a huge and important part of our story. Other comments, questions, etc.? See, there's active chat, but it doesn't look like it's questions related to the call much as digging into details there. I am certainly happy to give y'all some of your time back from the day if need be. We'll give another minute or so to see if there are any outstanding questions, but if everybody's happy and well set, then awesome.
Can I ask a technical question about the WebSockets, Linux?
Sure.
So the problem right now with most nodes providers and even the validators, they provide a short lifetime for the WebSocket connections, and it's a scaling problem because if you wanna, I think Fred can answer us. If you wanna have like multiple WebSockets, you need high specs, resources in terms of CPU and memory. So you need to keep sending like a ping to the WebSocket. So what's the strategy here regarding Pocket? how it preserves the handshake between the client and the WebSocket server.
There are some built-in kind of limitations with Pocket, which is how sessions are handled right now. So a session only can last 1 hour. So I think that's a limitation, but I don't think that we've dove deep enough and got enough user feedback on preserving that the synchronous connection. So something for us to continue to think about and iterate on.
Beautiful. Yeah, I hadn't really looked into what the keep alive structure is for that, but obviously it's a matter of balancing the keep alive length and repetitiveness. Miss Kitty asked, I missed the first few minutes. Any updates from ETH Denver? And is there a date for the Charlie Shrem podcast? So ETH Denver, I'm heading out there tomorrow, and we already have a number of meetings scheduled with both VCs and ecosystem partners, some of the PGA teams. And if any of the rest of y'all PGA teams are in ETH Denver, I would love to sit down with you and spend a little time chatting about your project. We're meeting with the DevDAO folks and Saeed tomorrow for lunch, and I am certainly looking to fill up the time with as many productive meetings as we can possibly have there. Who is scratching RSSFZ? I'm not sure what you're doing, but it's noisy as hell. Please mute yourself. If I mute you, then you can't unmute. So that is that. The Charlie Shrem podcast is scheduled to be recorded on. I can't find it on my calendar. 1 second. I will. I will find the answer to that. Or I won't. Where the hell is it? Okay, I can't find it. I thought it was set. I thought it was set to be recorded next week, but I don't see it. Maybe that was March 25th. I know it's somewhere around then. All right. Well, I can't find it, but I will absolutely post an update on that in the Discord so that you have it. Generally, we do the recording, and then I think that his syndication schedule is about 2 weeks. So generally, it's about 2 weeks after the recording session when it goes live. If you do intend to vote for the DAO Oversight Committee nominees, please don't leave it to the last minute, since some people have reported technical problems with voting. Could take some time to sort through these, e.g. try using Robbie Wall to connect to Snapbox. Yes. So specifically on that, there were a ton of reported issues around voting with Snapshot. And apparently it's related to some change in Gnosis. From what we've heard, there are two basic options that work. One is specifically adding the Gnosis network to your MetaMask and switching to that network before you go in to vote. And the other is what I did, which was just blew out my MetaMask and installed Rabby. I've been meaning to for a while. It's been recommended to me by a bunch of folks, and so I finally jumped over there and did that, and it worked immediately without having to do anything. So two options there that should hopefully get you in there, but in case you run into technical difficulties, you should probably get your vote in long before the final minute runs out. Thanks for the reminder on that, Satar. Any other questions? This is your best opportunity of the week to get answers directly from the horses' mouths, as they were. And also, you've got some real heavy hitter talent on the call. So, if you've got engineering questions, now's a great time for it. Oh, one other final note. The Shannon Economics Committee is actively up and running right now. They are meeting weekly and they have ongoing asynchronous chats through a Discord channel. Some of the work that's being done right now is determining what the raw cost of a relay is from a service perspective as a foundation for actual tokenomics in the network around that cost of production to make sure that all of those things are being accounted for. So expect to see more updates on the Shannon tokenomics as we move forward. As everyone knows, the goal with Shannon tokenomics is to achieve deflationary status with a move to parity in mint and burn. So we're making sure that we have all of the math behind that for it to work as appropriate and without, choking off node runners or anything along that line. We have to make sure it's still a healthy network for everyone. So watch for updates on that. All right, well, if there are no other questions or topics that should be brought up, then we'll wrap it here for the week. And I will see y'all again, same time, same channel next week. Thanks, everybody.